Okay, it is January 27, 2025, 6 p.m. We're here on the second floor of City Hall for a common council meeting. Agenda has been posted and media has been notified. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Here.
Stephen Jopek.
Here.
Luke Kramer.
Here.
Kerry Michalowski.
Here.
Gerald Anderson.
Here.
Thomas Barnett.
Here.
Bob Luter.
Here.
Leanne Felton.
Here.
Chris Hannes.
Here. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, moving on to number 4, which is public comment. Do we have any public comment at this time? Any of the alders have any public comment? Not seeing. Move on to number 5, mayor's comments. The only comment I have today is if you notice, we did a post for the run water credit. So this is as our water and frost line starts to get deeper, we're starting to advise certain properties to run water to prevent the water mains from freezing. So it has nothing to do with water pipes in their house. It has to do with our mains, our utilities. So, and that can be found on the city website. And then we also did a media blitz to let the people know. So. Moving on to number 6, which is administration report. Turn over to our city administrator.
Nothing outside of what was in the report. You stole my line. I was going to talk about the let run order, so you got it.
Any questions about his report? Okay, moving on to number 7, public hearing, none apply. Number 8, presentations. Introduction of the new Assistant Fire Chief, Adam Johnson. I'll turn it over to Brian, Fire Chief.
Good evening. As most of you know, we put out a press release naming Adam A.J. Johnson, our Assistant Fire Chief. A.J. he's born and raised in Rhinelander. He's definitely committed to this department and to this community. So A.J. is going to do an amazing job in this position. Like I said, we want A.J. to move in there and make it his own position as he moves forward. So you'll be seeing some more of A.J. and I'd like to welcome him to the Assistant Chief position with Rhinelander Fire.
I don't know if you want to give any kind of comments or... So. Thank you. Okay, moving on to number 9, proclamations, none apply. Moving on to number 10, which is consent agenda. We have 2 items, which are the meeting minutes from January 13, 2025 of the Common Council, and then mayor appointment for the chairperson of the Sex Offender Registry Board of Luke Kramer.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Felton, second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Kerry Michalowski.
Aye.
Bob Luter.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Abstain.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to number 11, which is ordinances. Introduction of annexation ordinance 2025-1. So that would be the additional document that was given to you. If you guys remember, this came to Common Council probably about 6 months ago, was voted on, passed, went to the Planning Commission, did the hearings, passed, and now it's back to you guys for the final approval. Turn it over to our city administrator.
Oh, thank you. So, yeah, we found just a couple of Scribner errors in the document, so that's why at your place here, there's a new one there. So basically, this is just annexing some properties on the east side of town. Planning Commission has recommended that this be approved. I don't know, Steve, do you have anything you want to add to it, or?
No, there were some changes that were, I want to thank Gerald for pointing those out, and otherwise I think it's well written and it's all set up, so we should be fine.
And this is a pretty cut and dry type of ordinance, so we kind of like to get this moving. Time is a bit of the essence, so in my report I asked or recommended that you may want to waive the second reading, but that is actually up to you, so do as you see fit with it.
Yeah, and that I would comment on the fact that you already went through this once and approved it to go to Plan Commission, and it's really coming back from Plan Commission the same, just with more detail.
Mr. Anderson?
I move adoption of annexation ordinance number 2025-01 in its latest form and waiver of the second reading.
Kramer, second.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Any discussion on the motion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt. Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 12, none apply. Moving on to 13, which is discussion of new business. 13A, discuss and/or action on proposed resolution 2025-18. This is a yearly contract we have with the Humane Society for collection of pets.
Yep, and exactly the amount that was budgeted for this year.
Kramer, I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2025-18, approving, authorizing, and directing the mayor to sign an agreement with the Oneida County Humane Society for 2025.
Holt, second.
Motion second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Anderson?
I'm just curious what the asterisk means. Oops, where did it go? Well, now I'm not seeing it. There's an asterisk, and then way down at the bottom there's upon request by the city, but that doesn't seem to have anything to do with where the asterisk was up above.
I think it was a boilerplate. The Humane Society presented us with this, so
Paragraph 1 of the agreement is where services related to domestic animal control. It's just, I don't know what, what it does, plus or minus, but
I don't think it does anything. I would almost think that this is either a Scribner or something that they know internally, but I don't think it affects the spirit of the agreement.
the other question I had to do with rabbits. At the end of paragraph 2, sterilization of intact dogs, cats, and rabbits. Rabbits have not been mentioned anywhere else in this thing. I just wondered are we expecting them to deal with rabbits too?
Certainly does look like it, having them in there. So I figured the Humane Society knew a little bit more about this than I did. So I took them at their word with as far as the rabbits went. I don't know enough about rabbits apparently outside of Bugs Bunny. So sorry.
Are there rabid rabbits?
Rabid rabbits. Better than putty tats, I guess.
But minus the contract dates, it's the same contract we had for multiple years with the Humane Society. So minus it just being a new fiscal year, nothing else is really changing in the contract. Mr. Jopek?
Yeah, just clarifying the asterisk point under Article 6, subsection B, subsection 4. It just kind of talks about how OCHS is going to keep track of who adopted what pets and where their final location is, and that the asterisk just basically says that we can request that list from them and that information from them, and so it's just clarifying that they're not just going to provide it to us, we can ask for it when we want it. So I just want to clarify that point.
Yep. Mr. Anderson?
Just one other thing is, maybe about 3 years ago or so, we had a big kerfuffle about this contract, and we seemed to get it resolved at that time. And my question is, everything's been operating smoothly since then? They're happy with our expectations, and we're getting what we're paying for?
Yeah, that was just before my time. I think that was the last year of the last administration. Since then, the amount they charge us has been flat, so they haven't asked for an increase, and I haven't heard any complaints about the service they provided, even though the volume's up. So they're doing more with the same funding that the city's giving them every year.
Yeah, probably being the one that was around to negotiate this contract that's been repeated over and over and over again. This is the contract that we put together, and they really came into our, it was kind of a open-ended contract before, and then we tightened it up, and they found other, which I think was good, is they found other income sources that they hadn't even looked at as far as grants, and so that's really what this helped do. But I have no knowledge of any problems since we put to this contract.
None.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if our chief of police has any statements on this, or no? No, so,
Joe Peck moved to approve resolution number 2025-18. Oh, we already did, sorry.
yeah, so any other discussion? No, yeah. Not seeing any other discussion. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Luke Kramer, Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Bob Luder,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett, David Holt,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Motion passes. Moving on to B, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2025-19. This is a purchase of a riding lawnmower for $11,000. I refer to our city administrator.
Yeah, so Jeremy is looking to just remove an old mower that he has and put a new mower in. Budgeted amount here. He got the quotes per the purchasing policy, so I see no reason not to approve this.
Mr. Jopek?
Joe Peck moved to approve resolution 2025-19, approving the purchase of a Skag Cheetah 61-inch 40 horsepower mowing unit from Bob's Power Center for the city's Parks Department for $11,000.
Hold second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Mr. Jopek?
This is mostly out of curiosity. What happens to the old mower? Like, are we still utilizing it, or is that
I
being,
think they trade those in.
trade them in?
Yeah, I think so.
Kind of figured, but I was just curious.
Any other discussion? So, clerk, please take the roll call.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder. Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Thomas Barnett. Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek. David Holt.
Aye.
Motion passes, and thank you for approving, since that is shopping local within the city. Moving on to C, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2025-20. So this is a fee waiver for the Rhinelander Lions fishery. I believe the reason why it's coming to us is last year there wasn't enough ice to do this, so this would be the first time since the new policy went in
I
effect.
think so, yeah.
So I don't know if there's any questions or any stuff on this.
Make the motion to propose resolution 2025-20, approving a request from the Rhinelander Lions Club to waive fees associated with the Rhinelander Lions fishery event on February 8th, 2025.
Hold second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
David Holt.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek. Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. Thomas Barnett. Bob Luder. Leanne Felton.
Motion passes. Moving on to D, discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2025-21. So these are some water meter transceivers for the water department for $28,435. Patrick, take the wheel.
And what this is this the little radio units that go on top of the water meter that allow us to read the meters through a radio remote. So this is something they've been doing. Austin, when we looked at those minutes, what were they from, 2018, 2019, I think they started this? So this has been ongoing, and Core and Main is the place where we get these from. So just looking for your approval to order 162 of these units.
Joe Peck moved to approve resolution number 2025-21, approving the purchase of 162 Census 510M meter transceiver units for the water department from Core and Main for $28,435.68.
Anderson, second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion on the motion? Mr. Anderson?
I was just curious what percentage of the city is covered with this kind of unit.
More and more I don't know what the percentage is, but I know since they've been doing it, my guess is probably about at least 100 each year. They're keeping moving on it. My guess is in the next few years they should have it all completely covered. So
I assume that saves a lot of time on meter reading.
time for employees, yeah, efficiency is definitely in these.
And then if we ever do go to a monthly billing, that time savings would be huge.
Absolutely.
So, moving on to E, which is discuss and/or action, proposed resolution 2020.
You didn't take it.
That's a good point. Yeah, we do need to vote. Any other discussion? Not seeing any. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Thomas Barnett. Aye. Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Now we move on to E, discuss and/or action proposed resolution 2025-22. This is understanding between Art Start and the city of Rhinelander. I would turn this over to the city administrator.
So in 2023, we received an NEA grant from the Our Towns program for the art at the skate park that the Art Start is working on, and this basically is just the mechanism for us to start helping Art Start being able to tap into those the NEA funding, so of $50,000. That's, in a nutshell, that's exactly what it is.
Barnett, I make a motion to approve proposal resolution 2025-22, approving, authorizing, and directing the mayor to sign a memorandum of understanding with Art Start for administration of an NEA grant.
Mikulowski, second.
Motion second, and discussion. Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Carrie Mikulowski.
Aye.
David Holt.
Aye.
Luke Kramer.
Aye.
Stephen Jopek.
Aye.
Gerald Anderson. Thomas Barnett.
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye.
Bob Luder.
Aye. Motion passes. Okay, moving on to F, kind of the elephant in the room, so to speak. So just to let you guys know how we got here, well, as you guys know, we are moving forward with the Messer Street project, which is pretty much the neighborhood surrounding Hodag Park. Based on this being a utility and a road project, we are not confident that it will be in a safe condition at July 4th for fireworks. You know, this has to do with trip hazards, it has to do with loose soil, it has to do with traffic patterns. So probably about a month ago, we started these discussions with parks, streets, fire, and police of where can we hold fireworks within the city. So there's a couple issues that we always have to keep in mind. One, for the size of our show, you need a 700-foot diameter circle that has no structures in it, that's easily accessible for fire department, where they actually blast off the fireworks. So you got to have that in mind. You need a 700-foot diameter circle. On top of that, you need a location where you could park a couple hundred cars. I mean, you look at a whole construction project that is filled with cars plus 2 parking lots, and you also need a green space where people could actually observe. So those are the big issues we're looking at throughout the city. We have looked at many locations, everything from doing them maybe from the country club, shooting them off, but then people are still going to go to Hodag Park, which causes the safety issues. We looked at doing them at the high school, middle school. Similar issue is when you add that barrier for the fire department to protect, you don't have a ton of space there. We looked at old landfill, shooting them off there and trying to find a location to view them, ran into similar issues. There was a suggestion of using the old coal pile at the paper mill, which for multiple reasons was not a smart move. Yeah, fire chief was like a no. But so we looked at the city golf course. Similar concept. You don't have enough parking out there, and it's not viewable for anyone to walk to. So we are trying to find a location that could work. There's no ideal, perfect scenario in the city. West Side is where collectively we came up with for a couple of reasons. One, we have a township that donates every year to our firework department based on and it's Pine Lake. They donate every year because a lot of Pine Lake shares with Boom Lake with us, and they see a value to our show. With it being at West Side, you still have that feature for Pine Lake. Anyone coming in by boat could still see the show. It's still a win. The BMX Club last year has demonstrated it can be done. So that is another reason why that location works. It's also a location that we could easily monitor from a police and fire department for safety. And the concept is, if we're doing this as a one-off because of this project, how can we have additional benefit? So one of the concepts is, if we're viewing from downtown, that's providing an opportunity for our local businesses to capture some of that. One of the reasons why you do fireworks is for all your people visiting, your vacationers. And if anyone has been downtown, the moment that parade's over, they all run to Hodag Park or to their home. We're having festivals during the day downtown. If it's the music, if it's a bounce house, what have you, it provides an opportunity for your small mom and pop businesses downtown to keep people downtown and make it more of an economic engine. That's how we kind of came up with this location. The firework company is okay with it. They also came up with the solution in your packet of using Coolidge. There's pros and cons there based on how wet or dry the season is going up to July 4th, based on that is kind of a swampy area, but it's also woods. So if it was very dry, we could have some fire concerns. But both of these would be for the benefit of, one, still having a fireworks show, because, well, I don't know, how many people bid on a fireworks show? No one?
Yeah,
It's-
no, yeah.
Yeah, and this company, we are the smallest show that it's the farthest distance. So similar to other events, I'm afraid if we cancel it, you won't get them back next year based on they're just going to move on to a bigger community. So we have had probably a 5-year working relationship with this company where we have helped them, they have helped us, we work good together, and I just don't want to have it where it's known we don't have a fireworks show because we took a year off. With that, you know, we have both fire chief and police chief and Patrick here to answer questions and just to see what we could do to make something happen this year. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, we, actually, the mayor, we talked about a ton of things. We talked about the Davenport Street Bridge. We talked about Nicolay College. We talked about a ton of different places. But one of the reasons, you know, and Mayor Hannes kind of broached it, was the reason you do fireworks. I mean, it's patriotic, it's tradition, but you also do them to bring people into your community. And so while Nicolay, I look at that, and somebody else had mentioned that, and I went, oh, that'd be a good spot, except it's, 3 miles south of town? It's not really doing what you want to do as far as bringing people into the community, experiencing Rhinelander. So that one it doesn't really work, although on paper it's pretty good. The West Side Park is probably the best one, and honestly, if you ask 50 different people, you're going to get 50 different suggestions. You're not going to make everybody happy with this. I promise you that. You're going to meet somebody out here, whatever decision you make, who is not going to like it. Hodag Park, after you've dealt with this for a while, you realize how good of a spot Hodag Park actually is. That's when. But the plan here is, whatever you decide this year, to bring it back to Hodag Park next year. At least that's how I see it, because that is an ideal spot. But unfortunately, it's going to be torn up. It's going to be a mess. And having a lot of people milling about and parking and everything else, you get a rain there, a little bit of a rain, they could be parking in muck. It's just not worth it for this event. I don't want to spoil this event by that. So that's why we did look at West Side. Mayor did speak to the BMX club, set the precedent there that can be done there. That to me makes the most sense. Coolidge was an interesting idea, but as Chief's going to say, if you get a fire back 100 yards, you're there, he can't get his trucks back there. So, Brian, go ahead. I know you're itching.
Yeah, so the rule of thumb is you have to have 70 feet for every inch of mortar. So if we go with 5-inch mortars, there won't be as much of a impact, or those great big booms. So that would give us the 350-foot perimeter around Westside Park. There's a very small risk in there of having it there that we can manage. Anywhere else that we've looked at is just, there's too much risk versus reward on that as far as we can see.
The other thing the firework company's willing to work with us is to eliminate the ground show.
Yep.
So with this year, if this is the location we pick, it would be more of a higher elevation show than a ground show. So that way we're enticing spectators not to come to West Side and people actually be able to see what we're paying for.
One of the things that, and I don't know if you covered this, that we have talked about internally at least, is, this could be a real opportunity for downtown. If and not to put Mr. Luter on the spot, but if DRI were to, coordinate with us, that might be something really, really good for some downtown businesses here. So I mean, there's opportunity here. It's change. I know change stinks. Nobody likes it. It's difficult. It's different. Yeah, but these things have to happen from time to time. So promise in 26 we want to bring it back to Hodag Park.
Mr. Barnett?
So I was putting this out here for, so that there's a different perspective, I guess. And it's not even really a different perspective. It's just we need to think about this as well. With Westside Park, agreed, probably the only viable place. But with the fireworks going off, with the BMX event that they had out there, we had an entire neighborhood really, really upset. Their animals, their dogs and pets, suffering from the anxiety of the loud show. And that was just a little tiny fireworks display. This is going to be huge. And it's going to be a really inconvenience to that neighborhood. I know it's, you know, the concept of, you know, it's a small group of people against a whole large number of people, but I want us to also put ourselves in the place of, would we want these fireworks being shot off in our backyard? It's good when it's not in our backyard, but when it's in other people's backyards, you know, it's just something to think about. But West Side Park is probably, I agree, the only place you could have it. So I will leave that thought with everybody, and I will support whatever my other alder people decide on.
Ms. Mikulowski?
Yeah, so West Side Park is literally in my backyard. And when the BMX did their fireworks, I didn't get one single call from my constituents complaining about it at all. A lot of the people in my neighborhood thought it was kind of cool to have it there. So I haven't heard any negative feedback on when the BMX did that. So I guess I would just like to make a motion to approve the 4th of July fireworks location to be at West Side Park for the year of 2025.
I'll second.
So we do have a motion and second. Is there any discussion on the motion? Mr. Kramer?
The only thing that I might want to suggest is that we actually say with no ground effects. Because I think that with the smoke and that could irritate people's lungs or whatever else, because it is more of a bowl. So if it is actually listed in there that there won't be any of the ground effects, I think that should be a requirement.
And when we talked with the fireworks company, they were absolutely fine with that, because we talked about the various areas, and he says, yeah, we can do more aerial shots. He goes, we'll just get rid of the ground show, and it'll just be the higher ones, which, I don't know, might be cooler, if you ask me.
As someone who has set off fireworks, the ground show is a uber pain to clean up. So I don't think they will be upset not having a ground show. Mr. Anderson?
Well, I have suggested using a golf course, which seems to have plenty of space. I'm told it doesn't have enough parking space, but I don't see how West Side Park has anywhere near as much even.
So I think you got three concepts. One, we would be enticing people to stay downtown and come to downtown, where we have multiple parking lots. Two, the population around that could not leave their home and still enjoy the show versus the population of Crescent around the golf course is different. So everyone that would be, for the most part, going to the golf course has to travel there, where you could probably get a couple hundred people viewing from their house or their street and or walking. So from a parking point of view, there's a lot less demand. So
Well, and I'll give you one other, is the golf course has one way in, one way out. And Chief Gothier is going to tell you that having one way in, one way out is a nightmare in and of itself. So, I mean, West Side's got a lot more ingress, egress points all around the neighborhood.
something else to keep in mind, no matter where you shoot off fireworks, someone will be upset because their dog will be upset. I mean, I get probably 5 calls every year at Hodag, and everyone knows it's on July 4th, everyone knows what day July 4th is, and we still get calls being upset about it. So it's just, you're kind of picking who's going to be upset, so to speak, but it's just a factor of loud booms. So any other discussion on this topic? Not seeing. Clerk, please take the roll call.
Gerald Anderson,
Aye.
Stephen Jopek,
Aye.
Luke Kramer,
Aye.
Carrie Mikulowski,
Aye.
Bob Luter,
Aye.
Thomas Barnett,
Aye.
David Holt,
Aye.
Leanne Felton.
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to 14, communications. There is none for this meeting. Moving on to 15, future agenda items. Would anyone like to add anything? Not seeing. Our next regular common council meeting will be February 10th, 2025 at 6 p.m. It is Oh, I still want to wait just a little bit to make it past 9:30. It is 9:30 and 2 seconds. Oh, sorry. 6:30 and 2 seconds. Meeting adjourned.